Shalom Aleichem. We got today before Chanukah. We find in the Gemara, we find interesting things about Chanukah. The whole month of Chanukah was set away. It's a Kovim Yom Tovim, Lahalal, Vayidua. Every Yom Tov that we have, it's usually we have to do something. In the Sikha that we go in, we have to eat, we have to sleep. Every mitzvah there's an asiyah. By Chanukah we find there is no doing whatsoever, just looking. Ein only Shis l'shtamesh behem, Eila le'ois van belvad. All we have to do is look, and that's the halacha. If one is not putting on Chanukah left, and he goes by and sees the candles burning, he has to say a bracha. That means there is no asiyah by Chanukah. Or even shit is, they'll say, kofsa zukikla. Eine zukikla. This is Levi. This is Zalman and Meltzer used to go in Yerushalayim by the Chassidim. We learned one thing from the Chassidim, that the Chassidim taught them how to go to the Chanukah left. They taught them to learn the Kedushas Levi, to understand exactly what the message of Chanukah is. The whole Tachlis of a Yid here, in this world, is Avodas Hashem. Actually, the Neshama came down here, because the Baruch Hu says, Amzi Yotzar Teli, Telusi Sapai. I created the whole world, I created the Yidden for one reason. Telusi Sapai, you should always say how great the Ribbono Shel Olam is, that whatever is being done, I should come to understand that it's the Ribbono Shel Olam. So we usually have the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh says there are three ways how to come to that. Because Kadosh Baruch Hu created a world of materialism without any rochnis that you can see it. It can. So the Kadosh Baruch Hu had to give us ways how we should live also. Not only the materialism part, but also the rochnis part too. So we can ourselves make a yesh miyesh. Everything that we have money, you can buy a house, have a house. You can buy a whole complex. You can keep on going, not even meet the Ribbono Shel Olam, because koichi voisim yudi usis achai lazeh. But then there's a way how to contemplate not only the physical part, but also the rochnistic part. That's called making from the yesh, making a ayin. That I see in everything, I see that I wouldn't be able to do it by my own. So then, actually I come not only to the physical, I see there's something beyond my understanding. There's something beyond that is helping me here. That is, we call it in one word, lachmuna libaboya. We can do mitzvahs and tovim, we can come to shul, do whatever we're supposed to do, but it's mitzvahs anushim elibuda. We're doing like checking off my checklist, but never being connected to anything beyond my understanding, beyond that's giving me the life. No person is set up of a goof and a neshama. As long as the goof does it, it's just like a worker that comes to his job and he does his job from 8 to 4, but 4 o'clock he just takes everything and goes home and just the pen falls down, and there's no more, doesn't even think about work. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, V'ahavtas Hashem Elokecha, B'chol levavcha, B'chol nafshecha, B'chol me'adecha. That means I need something beyond. I need your heart here, that you should see beyond the materialism, that there is something godly that's giving you the koiches. Because then, when a person lives in that way, he also benefits. What does he benefit? Because the materialism is something that is bounded, everything that a person understands, everything a person does. This whole world is actually called mugbal. Kadosh Baruch Hu Ein Sof. There is not, it's infinite. If you hear this world, everything is finite. So Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah. It says Yisur, Araisu, B'kitsha B'lich Echad. How does it work? Ask the Ma'anayim. Yisur, we can say, it's Kitsha B'lich. Kitsha B'lich, we can say it's Torah. Torah we understand. Kadosh Baruch Hu Ein Aguf. There is no way I can understand the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So how do you learn Torah and you live with a Kadosh Baruch Hu? You say it's a Kadosh Baruch Hu. A person, a human being, is all into practical, all into doing, etc. So where will you find the Rabbeinu Shalom? Says the Moyanayim, there's always a neshama and a gif. Even the mystical Kitsha B'lich, which we call it Shechina, is also compiled of a part that you can give it a name. But the Kadosh Baruch himself is no name. Hoya Hashem lemelech, Hashem echad, Shmo echad. Right now, the Shmo, the name that we give to Kadosh Baruch Hu, is something that we understand. Because those will be such a bittul, such a nullness, that a person will be ready to live that I don't understand, that I don't understand. Right now, whatever a person does, he understands. Without understanding, you can't start doing anything. But at the end of the day, you have to come to a place that I understand, that I don't understand. That's actually livable. That's only a person that's ready to be Mesiras Nefesh, ready to give himself over to the boss, because he knows his whole life is built on this, and he's ready to do beyond his understanding, beyond, he's ready to go into a spiritual place. He's going into, but even the spiritual place, at the end of the day, he knows he's going to have something from it. I'll say a short story from when Rebbe had a son, which is called Rebbe Shlita from China, Austria. This Rebbe used to travel around a lot, collecting. And he used to say, my father, Rebbe used to come to a town, and he didn't leave the town. He used to hear a bus call saying how much money he's going to make in this town. He didn't leave the town until they make that sum of money that he heard in the bus call. Rebbe Shlita, his son, said, I don't hear bus calls, but I believe when I leave, whatever I was supposed to make, I made. What I wasn't supposed to make, I didn't make. So the Rebbe used to say, if you hear this story, so you say that Rebbe was much greater than his son, because Rebbe heard a bas kol, and his son didn't hear a bas kol. Says, the Rebbe is much deeper than this. We find in the Torah that Avinu, when he didn't know what to do with Yishmael, the Rebbe told them, Kol asher toim alech asur eshtechu, shma b'koila. If you don't know what to do, go and ask your wife, Surah. Rashi says on the place, Tofel Avram l'Surah Nevi'as. Avram, he didn't have any Nevi'as, he had to go to Surah Nevi'as. How come? Avram started the whole Mahalach of Rabinu started. Like the Baal Shem Tov Kodesh said, after I was masig, I understood that all my asugas, all my understanding, I act like a fool and believe. That means it's a much greater avodah, much greater respect for the Kodesh Baruch Hu, that I'm ready to accept something that I don't understand. The Maggid Mezritch says, what is all agunis? In Chanukah, we're all going to Chanukah, and there's a Bnei Soska that says, when the Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world, he said, away, there was a big light that you were able to see from the beginning to the world to the end of the world. And he put away that light. Why? Because the Yeshua might use it for bad things. And he left it only for the tzaddikim. Where did he leave for the tzaddikim? In the Torah. And once a year, by a mitzvah of Chanukah, we get that Or Agunis. What is behind that Or Agunis that you understand, that you get, that by Chanukah, that you don't get all year round. So the first thought is always, we'll stand there half an hour till you feel something. We'll stand there half an hour till we'll say everything what we can do. But at the end of the day, if it's all agunis, that means it's a hidden light. So the light is hidden. So when you see it, it's not hidden anymore. So what is this all agunis that you're getting? That it should still be all agunis. It still be a hidden light. And you don't get it. It's still hidden from you, still concealed from you. It says the Maggid that all year round, a person does mitzvahs and asim tovim, will never be able to start a mitzvah without a Kodesh Baruch Hu giving him the koyach, without a Kodesh Baruch Hu giving him a house he should be able to put on a mezuzah, without giving him a beged, a clothes, in order to put on tzitzis. And once you put on the tzitzis, once you make them a zizah, then we're busy adding up what's my prize going to be at the end. Asking with plozos, you I want to know what's going to happen after 120. But Sidus teaches us that actually the Olam Haba has to be here already. Asking the plozos in this world, we have to live the Olam Haba in this world too. We don't have to wait till there. Just the opposite. As much as it's good here, it's only Torameyu. It's only a taste. When you come to there, because it's all hidden in the materialism, in the chomius. But when you come to Olam Abul, then it's everything rochnius, everything spiritual. So how much you are able to live with the Dondollo here is, when you come there, it's much more. But it's, as Rashi says, Neshama of a Yid comes higher than a Malach. Why? Because a Malach has only spiritual, has no materialism. All Doimon Sameach Chai Medaber in this world is all materialism. They have a spiritual, but they don't have that koyach to make from their materialism spiritual. The only one that can turn over from the yesh, from the materialism, to spiritual is only the man and only the Klal Yisrael. Why? Because a Yid is chelik lekayim imal. He is the closest that can be to the Shlem, possible for the whole creation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the Torah, which the Gemara says, Unoichi is Ushateves Anu, Nafshui, Ksuvis, Yehovis. Anu Nafshui, Ksuvis, Yehovis means, the Baruch Hashem said, I put into the Torah, my whole nefesh is in there. Even though it's concealed, even though it's hidden, but if you're going to connect to the Torah in such a way of believing, which is called a minna, of tikvu, hoping, tzipil, missing, the Maral says that's the maximum, that's the minimum that I can give, but that's the maximum I can get. That's because HaKadosh Baruch Hu ain't a give, ain't a mesiga give. So every time a person goes in such a way that he's looking for more to do, even though he doesn't see the te'elis, even though he doesn't see what's going to come out of it, that itself is called liber boya. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you chiyus, he gives you something that's called life. Because every second HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mechadish b'tiva b'chol yom tov ma'aseh b'rashis. Every second that the world is standing, it's not this, it might look outside the same world, but the chiyus that's coming is something new. They say just like a river that's running. You can go into the river in the same place every day, but it's not the same water, because the water just went out. We believe that Lo'ilam Hashem Dvochud Nitzah V'Shamayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving every day a new chiddush. Because if we would be able to, the day before was enough already for the creation, and we recognize the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why did he give us another day? Everybody that's here has a certain way how he thinks, how he acts, how he can see things. And no one person is the same as the other, because if there would have been a person same as the other, there would be no reason why because Baruch Hu was able to bring only one person to make this. Because Baruch Hu brought 600,000 Eden. There's also every place that a person comes. From one side he feels himself uncomfortable, but if he believes, Liber boy, I must have been there because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to bring me there. And I have to reveal HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a way that I'm ready to understand there's something spiritual beyond my understanding. There's zmanim, which we call time. There's some times there's sometimes that a person is, in certain times he feels better, certain times he feels worse. But we know that time comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and if he wants us there, he gives it to us in order to connect to him. The kids is to understand what we're trying to explain is Liber boy, that is actually what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is waiting for a person. Liber has two ways. Liber is also called understanding, Alev Mevin. Liber is also, you're ready to give yourself your roots and Halev, your wanting, whatever your wishes are, you're ready to give it over to the wishes of the Ribbono Shel Olam. But there you don't understand. So there's a part you have to understand. That was Baal Shem Tov, he started understanding, but at the end of the day, he went over, battled at Chanukah at Neiratzon. He was ready to understand that he doesn't understand, and that's what the Yevunim tried to disturb, to abuse it. How? Yevunim said, you can learn Torah. I have no problem with that. But how does a person forget? Because remembering is something that comes from the chiyus from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Only by HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ein shikchu lifnei chisacha v'decha. Only by HaKadosh Baruch Hu there's no forgetting. The Torah says zuchar, the Torah gives you the koyach of zuchar. But when you get that strength of remembering, it's only when you live with liber boy, you live with your whole heart, all given over to the Ribbono Shel Olam, then you have that koyach of coming to that place which is called the zuchar of remembering. But the Chashmanu were into Timi Kol Hashmanim. I'm ready, you should learn Torah, but learn it mechanically, learn it physically. Don't come to that place, as we call it, Rochnius, that you are there, but your mind is somewhere else. Put yourself into understanding as far as you can, and just keep on digging as far as you understand. What you don't know, what you see, that they call believing. You didn't see, it's not called believing. But till up to the Yevunim, even the Goyim were into avodah, were into something that is beyond my understanding. But the Yevunim tried to conquer the world, which no other nation was able to conquer the world, because they saw, as much as they conquered the world, there's still the Yidalach out there. You can't conquer them. So they're trying to understand how come. It says the Baal Shem Tov, Yevunim is from Yefes, Yafta Lekim. Yefes, he's the closest to Shem. Noach had 3 sons, Shem, Shem, Yefes, V'chom. Chom is the darkest from all, he's the farthest from all. Shem is the closest from all, and the Torah went through the children from Shem all till this day. Yefes, he was the closest from the Goyim that he can understand where the problem is, like we cannot conquer Eden. That was the Misyavnim, as they call it Hellenism. They came in with a mahalach that a war itself will not be able to conquer. They came to Eretz Yisrael, and they were able to conquer Eretz Yisrael, but with Hellenism, with Koichi v'oitzim Yud usus achai lazer. The strongest I am, the more I understand I am, what's the biggest, what's the smallest, etc., what wider, what broader, that's something. But anything that you didn't get to the end, or you say that you believe, they abuse it in such a system that anybody, you're going to tell him something up to this day, and he wants to understand. As long as I don't understand, it's not there. So that is actually called Yevunim. And how do you get rid of that? That was the problem that we, from one side, the Yevunim was Matzliach, says the Kiddush Levi. They were Matzliach to get the Yidden into materialism. They were Matzliach to get into the Yidden into practical without going over to a minute. So what do we do? Says the Maggid from Mezritch, because Baruch still has one ammunition, which is only special for Klal Yisrael. It says Koil Yankiv Yudayim Yedei Eisur. How much spiritualism a goy will always accomplish, but he has the maximum he can uplift is his Yadayim, his ammunition, his doings. But he'll never come to a place of Koil Yankiv. Koil Yankiv means I'm ready to get to a place, not that what I understand, I don't understand, but even that I don't understand, that I don't understand. What does that mean? That means because Baruch Hu created everything, through the Torah. Torah itself is made up of words. Words are made up of letters. Letters there are letters, or three types of letters. Aleph Beis, we have the Aleph Beis. We have the Aleph Beis that's in the mind of a person when he goes and talks. He has the letters, but you don't see him, but you can see him with your eyes. There's the letters that come from a place which is called Chochma Yoina, that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, he created with the Torah, but the Oisis HaTorah was something so spiritual, so rochnias, that you couldn't even see it. And that comes from a place which is called Oragunas. And that place of Oragunas is called Shuvei Mashve Kuten V'Gulun. In order to bring back our koiches, that when we're learning something, we should be able to connect from what I understand, that I don't understand, because Baruch Hu brought in those days back the Oragunas from the beginning of the creation of the world. At the beginning of creation, a word that Baruch Hu gave Oragunas, you didn't have to go through the understanding to come to the not understanding. Even though you didn't understand, you didn't understand. Well, there will be a model, that was Deus Hashem, Kamayim Liyam Machasim. You come to such a stage that you see the Ribbono Shel Olam in the biggest Gashmis, you'll always see the Rochnis without any work from your side. We used to call it Hesach HaDas. Now nowadays, we need Das, we have to work on it. It's called Achnua, Abdullah, Antuka, we're not going to go into it, but there are all kinds of stages. A person gives Hanua, he says, Ribbono Shel Olam helped him. Abdullah, he starts to separate the things he doesn't understand and focus on the things that he understands. Hamtuka, sometimes he says it must be good, but I accept it. But at the end of the day, he's coming from a place of understanding. The Bushat said the whole avoid is to come to Bittul, Bittul means whatever I have is just like a small child in the hands of the mother. A small child cannot take care of himself, cannot prepare his food, cannot even hold the bottle. And who's taking care of him? The mother. But the mother, he doesn't know what a mother is. Well, all he knows, it's good. That means when a person, or agunis means, I don't know who the Ribbono Shel Olam is, because ain't a give, ain't a messiah give. But I don't have to understand that I don't understand, because the child doesn't understand that he doesn't understand, but that gives them the greatest happiness, because anything that you bring in your understanding is actually bounding your happiness. Because the strongest happiness is when we're connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The strongest strength is the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Anything that you understand, anything that you do, is actually, once you understand, then you're taking away your connection, you're reducing your connection to the Ribbono Shel Olam. So the more you're out of the picture, you see that you were not there. That's called Mesiras Nefesh, which only a Yid has that koyach. When he gives Mesiras Nefesh, then he comes to that place which is called Oragonis. Because that is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted in this Yom Tov. Was Ram biyad ma'atim, Shemein biyad tahirim, Shiur biyad tzadikim. Only 13 tahirim, 13 tzadikim were there. And the ma'atim was only 13 people the whole thing. And they're going to fight a whole nation, which is the Yevunim, but nobody was matzliach in such a way, and Klal Yisrael, like they were, and they're going to fight them. There's no ratio, there's no cycle. How do they do that? But they understood, the tzaddikim understood that the problem is not technical. The problem is not Yadayim Yadei Eisa. The problem is that they disconnect us from the Kol Yankov, they disconnect us from our spiritual level. That if HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah in order that we should get them spiritually, but in the meantime, they abused it, and they just abused the whole system of the Torah, that people are doing Torah, learning Torah, but they're not ready to go into a place of not understanding of Liberboy. For that, you'll have to go into an oilam which is much higher than I gave you, that's still hidden. That's Oragunas. Oragunas means you're going to do something that you don't understand, And that is actually why they went to the war without understanding, and they didn't understand either how it happened. That my father Zechon used to say, usually by a war, we see it these days too. Usually the generals get up and say, we did that, we had this option, that option. But then comes a year later, all the fighters come back and say, nobody knew what he was doing, things happened, we don't know how it happened. Now we don't even understand, we didn't understand that we don't understand. But that only happens when, in a time, that a HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings you to that oragunas. So every time that a person is in you have to use that oragunas, when he is in a loy noida, when he is in an unknown stage that he cannot use his mind altogether. So he's not knowing. And then what happens when a person is in loy noida? He gets closed up, he just can't use his mind anymore. But that from one side can mess me up. From the other side, I can come to such a place that I wouldn't be able to come without this. This is the Nes from Chanukah. When you stand by the Chanukah left, and you see all this form tell you it's Oragonis. I don't know what Oragonis is, and I don't understand that I don't understand. I'm trying to get it. No, that itself, that you're ready, says the cousins from Magid, the Magid from Azich. All year round when you're doing something, there's something there that you understand. You understand it because what he gave it to you. You understand you're going to get a prize for what you're doing. But here, you're just standing there. And you don't put on anything physical. You don't turn on a light. You just stand there, go by a window and see there's a Ner Chanukah. And you say a brucha. What nisim? It's all argunis. So you're ready to accept that you don't understand, then we'll have the koyach to bring back what we had the Shemeni Kikedem, that any mitzvah that we do all year round, even though I understand, I'll ready to go to the not understanding. But as long as we don't have this Nes Chanukah, we're still stuck with the Yevunim that we have, that I must understand, and they don't let you go to not understand. So you have to, every time a person has a izdamnis to come to a place of an unknown, he sees himself vulnerable, he sees himself helpless, he sees himself in such a way that he doesn't understand, that actually comes in to give him a special koyach, that he should be able to get to a better place, that a spiritual place which comes to uplift him. That's called Sheva Yipur, Tzadik V'Kom. That this Baruch should help. Chassidim used to